The Creative Process Podcast with Peter Bogdanovich and Catherine Natali.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Creative Process Podcast. And I'm your host, Peter Papagiorgio, and this is my beautiful partner in crime / wife, Catherine Natali.
Catherine Natali and Chanel Bella. She
Chanel's
decided
part of the show
to do a little hoodie. She's very little temperamental today, but she's doing good. She's good.
Anyway, our guest today is Jesse Roa, R-O-A, right?
Yes.
Roa. And he's a game developer. He's an artist. He's an entrepreneur. Have you been on Shark Tank? Not yet.
No.
Okay. You will be, though. You have a bed and breakfast house here in Vegas that you rent out to movie studio. You know, people who are shooting a movie.
Shooting
need
a
house,
movie, yeah.
And you have a rental car company, too.
Yeah.
Kind of so. Anyway, say hello to the audience and
Hey, everybody.
tell
Hello,
the
Jesse.
audience a little bit about yourself. Where were you born?
Yeah, let's start where you were born.
Well, I was born in the Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
Manila. My father and my mom, they had like a bag business, and so I guess I've always done this. My parents has always done it.
Now, when you said they had a bag business,
They manufactured bags.
manufactured
Oh,
bags.
okay.
Yeah. And
Did they actually design the bags?
They designed the bags
Wow,
themselves.
so you came from a creative family.
So that creative
Yeah.
process
That
is in the
process
family.
is
It's in the DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, Roa
Uh-huh.
is Portuguese.
Yes.
And we traced it back, and there was a Roa company, a shoemaker in Portugal. So my dad was like,
Shoes, bags, what are
Yeah.
they? They're accessories.
"Yep." So I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
Yeah.
And so from there, hard times came in. We needed to go somewhere else, so we ended up here in America. I was 5 years old, and
And you came straight to Vegas?
no,
No.
yeah, we were in California.
Oh.
I actually grew up in California. Went to elementary and junior high in.
Was it Los Angeles or Northern
It's,
California or Southern?
Half of it was in the Bay Area,
Mm-hmm.
and half of it was in LA. Yeah.
Okay.
Grew up in Bellflower. It was close to.
Oh, I know
Cerritos.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and eventually we were able to buy a house in Cerritos, and that's where we were established.
So
Oh,
you were
okay.
the American dream.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And then from there, I went back to the Philippines to pursue my college, and that's where I took up marketing. I went to an international school, Thames International School of Business, and their main branch is over in Cambridge. In
Thames, Thames.
Yeah,
Yes,
Thames.
yeah. The Thames.
After that, I was pursuing to get my bachelor's degree, but once I got my associate's degree, I'm like, dude, this is great knowledge that I could use right now. So I started.
So you wanted to make money like right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't want to go to another college.
To me, it was
get
just a
another
piece of
degree.
paper, right?
Right.
So I was like, you know what? Okay, let's do it already. And so I started. It was a thing in the Philippines, internet shops. So LAN gaming was starting.
Now,
to
what
become a big
year
thing.
was this around?
This was about 2000, around 2000.
2000, okay.
Turn of the millennium.
Yeah.
Now, when you say internet shops, what do you mean by that?
Well, cafes.
Yeah.
Like
internet
cafes?
cafes.
That was big at one time,
But
internet cafes.
people don't
yeah.
go there just to surf the web. They go there to like play games. It's a competitive type thing, like 5 versus 5, Counter-Strike, Dota. It was fun. And I was in my 20s, so I was like, dude, this is great.
So that's how you got used to the games, like
Yeah.
getting interested in designing games.
Yeah.
So tell us about that.
Yeah, how do you
How
design
do you
the game from
design an
scratch?
app, a
Well,
game?
Is it
Ever
an app you create? An
Yeah,
app?
we make app games.
Okay.
I have a game, Postal Samurai, that I made like a few years back.
Postal Samurai?
Yeah. It's just a samurai that's running and trying to chase the mailman.
Yeah.
Oh
That's all. That's
funny.
no! Okay.
So Postal Samurai.
Now, what software do you use to create this?
Unity.
Unity?
3D. Yeah, it's a free software. Anybody can download it.
Really?
You just have to
So you
learn it.
basically, when you say you have to learn it, is it something that you draw and then you could actually, with vectors, make it move?
No,
No.
there's a lot of aspects that go into game designing, but it has to be a passion. I mean, if you really like something, you'll
You have to
do
devote
anything.
a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, just me, myself, and I, watched hours and hours of YouTube,
Video
looked at
tutorials.
so many different documents, and I'm just like,
So you're self-taught.
yeah,
So
Did you ever get stuck?
everything that I do, I have to learn it.
Jesse, did it, like when you were looking at the YouTube videos, did you say, oh, can I do this? Like did your brain just
I-
freeze up?
Here's the thing with me, I never, well, not never, but I like taking challenges. I like challenging myself. I like to see what I'm capable of. How far can I go? And so when that video games is like really my passion, and that's why eventually I want to be like a big game company. So that's
We
all-
got him
that's all
first
I-
too, before he's big famous.
So I'm curious,
Before he goes
how
to
do
the
you
stock exchange.
how do you start I mean, do you start with the characters? Do you do like sketch art of a character? Because I know you draw, so you do the sketch art of the characters.
Yes.
And it's almost like you're putting a little movie together. Am I right?
It is. It's very similar to making a movie. Because first of all, you have to think of the concept, right? It's like,
Right,
What
yeah.
what idea? What game should I make? So,
Are you influenced by other games that are out in the market?
yeah, I was gonna say like me and my brothers, we grew up in the 90s and early 80s. So there was the Atari just came out and the Nintendo just came out, and we were buying. Here's a funny story. We would buy the game because we were so broke. We would buy the game first before the console
Oh.
Oh, wow.
because the game was cheaper, right? It was
Yeah,
like $50.
yeah.
$50.
Yeah.
So we would
She's
buy
like,
the game
okay, we
first.
bought like 3 games, but
So
now we
now
have to
we're
buy the
admiring
console.
Now
the game
yeah,
was-
Yeah.
you're admiring the cover, but you can't play it.
We can't play
No.
it.
But that
Eventually-
forced you to buy the same.
yeah,
listen,
that kind
you know,
of motivated us
to
to
buy
save
the
the
console.
money.
Yeah.
And my parents would give us like $10 a week for lunch, and we would just save that. We're like, we'll eat when we get home. Eventually,
Sacrifice, my
Sacrifice.
friend.
that, yes,
And being smart too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
How much was the console back
the
then?
console back then was like $300.
$300.
Wow, that was a lot of money.
That's
back
30
then.
weeks of not eating.
Yeah.
not eating lunch.
But teamwork.
Yeah.
So me and
Oh,
my
okay,
brother.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he was putting in $10 and you
Yeah.
were putting in $10.
Yeah.
$20 a week.
So
yeah.
it's $20 a week. So eventually,
15 weeks.
yeah.
That's what I mean. It's like if you put your mind to it, there is a way. You
Yes.
know, it's
Yes.
it's how much people give excuses.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's always
Especially nowadays, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah.
has an excuse. You got to have guts too.
Your thing is
Yeah.
your biggest enemy
Is your
or
mind.
friend is your
yourself.
mind.
Yeah.
Is your mind.
Yeah.
Yourself, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is
I
your
totally
mind.
agree.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by I want to challenge myself. It's like here's a venture. It's very feasible. It looks interesting. It looks fun.
And once you get it up and running, you have pride. It's like, hey, I created
You
this.
Yes.
created something
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could say to yourself like was an achievement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for kids who are into games and they want to be just like you?
Keep playing the games because that's where it comes from. But the thing is be ambitious about it. Be ambitious. Like you could really make a living out of it if you just put your mind into it. You become what you think about.
That's true. That's true.
You know.
That's
So
true.
Method gaming.
Yeah. So tell us about your brother.
My brother, his
Because
name.
we just mentioned about him saving all this money for a game, $10. So now, because you told us a little bit about your brother, and we want to hear more because I heard he's a really great artist.
Yeah, he's the best artist I know.
And what's his name?
His name is Jeremiah.
Jeremiah?
Jeremiah. Hello,
Roa.
Jeremiah.
And he's
Does he have a website?
no.
Jeremiah, what are you doing
Oh,
here?
Jeremiah,
Hey,
share your art.
share your art, buddy. Come on.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. He's so great. Like when he was going to college, the professor didn't believe any of his work
Wow.
because it was like top notch
you didn't do
material.
this. I did do it.
Yeah.
Nah, come on.
So there was one day, the he had an exam. He had a flip book that he had to finish
Mhm.
as a project, and he comes to the class.
This is here in Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this was in
Philippines.
in California.
Oh, California. Okay.
Yeah. So he goes there and he's like, well, where's your project, Jeremiah? He had a stack this thick of paper, all blank, and it's like, it's right here. And the professor's like, you got to be kidding me, right? So class starts, and the professor puts him in the front of the class so he can't cheat.
Right.
And I don't know how long it was, but he was right there. He was making it.
Yeah.
He was making his flip book
Wow.
and
Because
was
he
animating.
wanted to prove it
Yeah.
to the
He wanted
teacher,
to
like,
prove
yeah,
it,
I
yeah.
did do this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the end of the class, when it was time for him to present, he was done. He showed it. It was one of the best ones.
Wow, that was passion.
And the professor said, you know, Jeremiah,
I'm
you
sorry.
have the greatest
Gift.
waste and
talent.
gift that I've known. And this professor, he's worked for Disney. He's worked for
Wow.
all the big animation companies out
Wow.
So he sees it,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my brother,
Try not to
he's
do that.
super good. Oh, okay.
Why? Because you're hitting it like boom, boom.
Yeah.
So tell us about your cryptocurrency.
Oh, well,
This guy does everything.
He does everything.
That's
I mean,
the thing. I'm computers has been my life, right?
He has a website,
From-
idoeverything.com. No,
from
I'm just teasing.
from video games to computers to hardware, everything.
But here's the thing, too. You have a combination of technical and creative.
yeah, not many people have
You
that.
know, when you have both, it's great.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of people. I mean, I can think of one or two people that I know that are technical and artistic, but not many. I mean, to have both is really being blessed because there's not many people who can say that.
Yeah.
And tell us about, like, you have a house where you also rent out for people who need to film.
So no one lives in the house right now?
No one lives in the house.
You
right
just
now.
bought it as an investment?
Yeah. Well, I live in there, but
Right.
you know, when it gets booked, I get out.
And you go to your brother's house?
Yeah.
No. Oh, girlfriend's house.
Yeah.
I mean, is it busy? I mean,
right now we're just starting.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
you're just starting.
Yeah, we're renovating the house, getting it ready, taking photos.
Where's
So,
it at?
Yeah, and if anyone is interested in renting it, describe the house. Maybe.
Yeah, it's a 3,000 square foot house. It's American West house. If you're familiar with that builder,
Where's it by?
American West.
No, where's it by? Like what area?
Oh, it's over at Silverado
Uh-huh.
and
Cactus.
Maryland.
Oh, Maryland.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I know.
Yeah.
And it has a kitchen, a working kitchen.
Oh,
It
yeah.
has
It's
a
the
lot
whole
of
house.
rooms.
Yeah.
Like
5 rooms, 3,000 square foot, nice kitchen, backyard is well done.
I was going to say, it has to have a really good backyard.
You know, you could also
3-car garage.
You could also rent it as a Airbnb. too,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Or any corporation too. Sometimes the hotels are really expensive
Yeah.
for their employees to
And it's
come here and visit, and then they have to live somewhere, and they go to a hotel, and it's like thousands of dollars to stay here.
Yeah.
So
When I was renting it out like that way, it used to get booked all the time. People are telling me it's like you undervalue this house, and I'm like, well, at least it's booked, right?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly, exactly.
It's making money more than because out of the 30 days, it would be rented out maybe like 27 days.
Okay.
Do
you get a lot of people from California?
A lot of people from
Yes.
California.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as you're paying, your mortgage, you're
Yeah.
out of the game, right?
Yeah.
And then
it's an
some,
investment.
obviously.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
So tell us about anything.
Oh, you also you have a rental car company?
Yeah, rental
it-
car
is it an-
company
is it an
too.
app?
Oh my God.
I have a car fleet because
Okay.
I rent it through Turo, so you could search me on Turo.
Turo is an app?
Yeah, it's an app.
Turo?
Turo, yes.
Okay. I never heard of it. That's why. What do I know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty big. It's the #1 rental sharing app.
Oh.
So right now I used to have 6, and 2 I got rid of, and now I'm down to 4. But yeah, it's always rented out, and those are the side things that I do to cover my expenses, like the mortgage, my
Right, to
food,
live.
and to live, right? So just to get those out of the way, and I could concentrate on stuff like
Right.
making app games.
Right.
or
So you don't have to work a
making short
9 to
films
5
and-
job and all
Yeah.
that.
So
stuff.
how
So basically, your entrepreneurial businesses
Right.
make money for you, support you,
Yeah, yeah.
So
and
how-
also give you some profit, obviously, and helps you stay focused on designing these video games because
Yeah.
that's your end goal.
yeah.
So how long does it take to do an app
Well, like I mentioned earlier, it took me
game?
maybe a year
A year.
to finish
Wow.
to finish a game. But that's me learning how to do it and making the game at the same time. If I were to start making my next game,
But now you know how to make games.
yeah, now that
Like if I came in and say, "Hey Jesse, I have this idea for a game. Here's my layout. Blah 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 blah."
yep,
How long would it take?
that'll probably take me like 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
From concept, we'll design
creation.
the characters.
Yeah.
And
So
the kind
you-
of game you want to do.
So someone could come in and say, I have a character that I have in mind, and you would just actually draw it,
Yeah.
color it.
We'll sit down, brainstorm. We'll do some sketches.
Does your brother
How does
draw
it
it?
look
He
like?
draws it.
No, I do.
Oh, you do it too.
Well, that's the thing. My brother, he doesn't like drawing anymore. Like because of technology. Like we have computer
Yeah.
animation now and all
Yeah.
that. It's because to him it's a waste now, and we could. He does do 3D modeling though.
Oh, okay.
So that's really good. He actually worked for Neversoft, which was the company that made Tony Hawk, Pro Skater, and Guitar Hero
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
3.
Yeah.
Yep. Band Hero. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he worked for that company for a while. He was there for like 6 years. And then recently, before the pandemic, he worked for Petroglyph, which was the company that made Command and Conquer. That's a
Yeah.
really
Do you ever get stuck when you're trying to create a game, or
yes.
Yeah.
Those mind blocks.
yeah?
Yeah.
But tell us how
So
how,
how
how
do
do you
you-
get through those mind blocks?
Well, at first when it was happening, because you don't know it's happening, right? You just try to power through it. And it's like, why is my code not working? Why is this not working? Why is this so buggy? Where's the bug at? And
Oh, that could be so frustrating.
yes, it's very frustrating, but it's pretty simple. Go to sleep.
kind of
Go rest.
kind of just forget about
yeah,
it.
forget about it. Go to sleep, rest, and try again. Usually works.
You have to walk away from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
when
Because
you're writing,
you've been
too.
working
Yeah.
for so many hours, and you're just like, you're almost at this state where your brain is tired,
Yes.
and you don't know it because you're just pushing through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, with me, when I get creative and I'm thinking about a project, writing, whatever, acting, my mind is still. I sometimes create as I'm sleeping.
Yeah, yeah.
Do
Me
you
too.
do that too?
Yeah,
I do
me
that too.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Like I can see, okay, I'm actually dreaming the character, and in my mind, it's like a little movie. And then I get up the next morning and I'm like, okay, this is da 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 da. da.
yeah, yeah.
Almost like it just came to me. I guess because your mind is relaxed and
Yeah.
you
That's where it comes in. When you're in this state of you're just bouncing ideas around, suddenly it'll just come in.
So, like, if you're, let's say, do you have like a little notepad next to you when you're sleeping, or
Yeah, I put everything on the phone. Like,
on
oh,
the
this is what I
okay,
should
yeah.
do. Yeah,
So, like, you sleep and you wake up like, oh, it's a great idea.
yeah,
Ba, 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 ba.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
That is
Otherwise, you're gonna forget it the next day.
yeah.
Oh, I'll remember. No.
That I always try to do
Yeah.
that too. That's another learning experience that I had was, you try to memorize everything in your head because you're like, oh, I think I have a good mind, but yeah, you have to take notes or else a lot of ideas are lost by not taking notes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Everybody has. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have like a little notebook or slips of paper, and
I have a notebook.
I'm just
yeah.
like writing everything, like
And never throw anything
I
out.
never
because
throw anything out.
You
Yeah.
can always
It's
go
like-
back to that notebook, especially if you're writing.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, yeah, this is a funny skit. This
Yeah.
might work on the project I'm working on right now.
So when you do the
That's the
apps for the
ticket.
game, you're storyboarding first, or are you just writing out copy of the script and then you develop the characters? Like, how do you do that?
Well, what my process is, I think about what's gonna be fun. First of all, it's a platform, right? So I was like, I have to make a game for apps, for phones. So the interface, you have to kind of think about that. So what's gonna be good for that? And once I get like a good idea, it's like, I noticed like app games nowadays are like just a tap now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's your controls.
I don't play app games. So.
So you have to kind of think about something like, but I want it to be more challenging, so I added a little bit more controls to it. So now I thought about like, okay, so this is the mechanic. What's a good theme behind it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So once you get the theme, and then you start storyboarding.
Storyboard, and then you start writing the script.
Yeah.
Like with
It's like he's
action,
like
just
making a movie. Yeah.
It's just like making a
it's
movie.
the same process. Yeah.
Wow.
So he might be making movies down the road too.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them. I mean, Hollywood wants games.
Well, actually, do you know the
know?
gaming industry makes more,
More money
than
than
Hollywood?
Hollywood.
Yes, I do know that, and it's actually the movie industry.
It's now looking towards gamers.
Yeah, the movie
for
industry,
content.
music, put together, video game industry still bigger.
What about
Yeah.
the graphic novels too? People do.
Oh.
Yeah, when they have a script, and they just
yeah,
do
but
graphic
not,
novels.
Yeah, but not for the gaming.
but not for the gaming.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's kind of on the same level. It's kind of on the same not exactly, but it's on the same theme of things.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. People that like video games like comic books and
That's true.
cartoons and animation.
I mean, when you were a kid, were you?
Did you like cartoons when you were
Cartoons?
growing
Oh, yeah.
up?
Oh
we used
yeah.
to-
What kid doesn't?
every morning, do they still have those? I don't even know if they still have them. Like the morning cartoons.
You mean like Saturday
like
morning?
before,
Yeah,
before
Saturday.
school? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was every day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before going to school, you turn on the TV.
When we used to
There's-
watch cartoons Saturday
There's Bugs
morning,
Bunny
but that was a
and,
lot.
like,
Bugs Bunny.
anime.
Well, see, on
Do you know the Flintstones?
Yeah, Flintstones.
Flintstones.
Oh, okay, you know the
Flintstones,
Flintstones.
yeah.
The Jetsons.
Those are the
Jetsons.
ones. Yeah, the
Those are
Jetsons.
class. That's what
yeah,
we grew up
yeah,
with.
that's,
I mean.
yeah.
Tell you about
The-
how old we are.
The morning cartoons. I don't know. Do they still
Bugs
have that?
Bunny, Daffy Duck.
I guess nobody really watched TV nowadays.
Is there,
It's Netflix and Hulu and
Is there a time that's that it should end your game app? Is there a particular length of time that's the standard, or
I don't think so.
no?
So it could be as long as you
Yeah.
want it to be.
Yeah, because you have to.
Well, I guess there's different levels.
Yeah, well, I feel like you as a creative, you should be happy with your creation.
Mhm.
So if it's gonna take more time, take time. I mean, I use this as an example. James Cameron.
Right.
Yeah. Tim
when-
Burton.
Yeah, when they make movies, they don't like that time frame. If they're gonna be pressured to do it, they just said like, oh, I won't do
Yeah.
it then.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
4 hours, it's 4 hours. It is what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Titanic, right? It's
Yeah.
like he ran out of budget. What did he have to do? He had to like put a mortgage on his house just to get it finished the way he wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's the thing too. With the gaming, it's your vision, and
Yeah.
no one can turn
no
around and
one's telling
say,
you to do it.
yeah, and no one's telling you like how to change it. It's like
Yeah.
this is what I created.
Yeah.
So you're like in full control of your vision.
Yeah.
So I guess my next question is, how do you adjust to criticism? Like when people are a little critical, or how do you get through that? Do you accept it and try to take advice, or do you just say this is my vision? Or
I do believe constructive criticism is important, and you should take it into consideration. You don't necessarily have to follow it, but take it into consideration always.
yeah,
But you are ultimately the one creating it, so your vision is the one that needs to come out. But you do need to get feedback, because sometimes
You're so close to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so close. Yeah,
it's what you want, and if you're doing it for the money, I think that's the wrong thing to do, right? Because you want to create something that people are going to have fun with and they're going to enjoy and have an emotional attachment to. So
I could see because you're very passionate about it. So
yeah, so
it's coming from the heart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe you gotta just do it the way you envisioned it.
Well, I guess you should listen to people who have done it, been there. I mean, I do listen to that.
Yeah.
I don't like jealous people either, and I don't like losing my vision completely. But if they have a good argument about it, a good opinion about it, then I would always,
always consider.
Yeah, some people are just stubborn; they don't want to listen, and I think, I think that even as an entrepreneur like yourself, you need to listen. You need to hear what your customers want or what is lacking. Always be open-minded.
That's a very good point, actually, because I took up marketing. That's the thing. It's like you're gonna market whatever you created out there. So what are people wanting?
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be fun. If it's not fun, then people aren't gonna play the game.
Create the marketplace. Yeah.
I always feel like marketing is an event. An event. It's an experience. And people are dying for entertainment, especially now. They're dying for entertainment. They're dying for that event that transforms them into another place.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
And so whether it's gaming, entertainment, anything.
Yeah.
They're just dying for it.
I do agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, we need to wrap up the show, guys.
Yeah.
Cool. This was
just
fun.
flew right
just
by.
Flew right by.
Was that already?
Anyway, Jesse? Do you want to give the audience your contact information, phone number, email, website?
Well, basically, yeah. People can just contact me through text message or through Messenger. They could add me in Facebook.
Do you have a Twitter account?
I don't have a Twitter account.
Do you have a Facebook?
So Jesse, Jesse.
Yeah, Roa.
ROA.
Yeah. Just
Facebook. He lives in Vegas.
And if they wanted to rent your house for a film production,
Just hit him up through Facebook, right?
Hit him up through Facebook, I guess. Yeah.
So if you need a car, if you need a house,
if you want a game design,
you need a game design,
app.
this is the guy to call. You know what we're talking about.
And the creative process continues. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sweet.
Jesse.
This is awesome.
See you next time.
Bye.